G'day, cunts! Welcome to episode number 50. I have it in front of me. 59 of the podcast. Ooh, we're getting somewhat close to 69. Of the Greencast, a podcast by me, Mr. Greencast, where I ramble to myself like a madman in my bedroom. Oops, I meant to record one of these a while ago. And I have not. So this is actually the first podcast of the year of 2021, or as I like to call it, 2020 plus, because it doesn't look like it's getting any fucking better. Well, maybe for the rest of the world, it seems to be pretty good here in Australia. I don't know why I went into News Presenter Voice. Yeah, I'm immediately... yeah, let's not go on an immediate tangent about how fucked the rest of the world is. Okay, brief update for those who aren't in Australia. Specifically in Queensland and around the Brisbane area, which is where I live. We did have a 3-day lockdown where no one was allowed to leave, which was then preceded by, I think, 2 weeks of mandatory masks outside if you're in groups and all that stuff. We've since passed because we had... I mean, this is all because we had one single case of the UK strain. And yeah, they locked everything down because of it. And you know what? It fucking worked. Which is the whole sort of... the point of lockdowns. I haven't locked down my Facebook. Hold on 1 second while I never edit that out either. Yeah. The whole, lockdown thing, the whole lockdown doesn't work argument, is kind of invalid for majority of, instances. Because, again, lockdowns only work if you do it when you have, the start of an outbreak. Like places in America, they're just fucked at this point. I don't even really know what you can do at that point, apart from getting the vaccine out there. But yeah, we had the one single case, we locked down, we have no more cases, masks are gone. They're no longer mandatory anywhere at the moment, so we're fine. Anyway, now that I've done that brief thing, I wanted to briefly talk about my goals for the channel this year, and where I am with the channel. As a lot of you probably already know and have seen the video so titled I Was Hacked on this fucking channel, my 2021 had a great fucking start to it with the lockdown, and then also my channel getting fucking hacked in the same week. And good lord, that was a whole fucking thing to go through. For those who haven't seen the video, or have seen the video, a brief rundown of what happened was, I was out scanning with some friends, and I got a notification on my phone saying there's weird activity on your Google account. And then I went to log in, and so the password was changed, and someone had gone in. About half an hour later, they started live streaming some random cryptocurrency chat between two white dudes that was obviously archived from somewhere else. My channel got changed to a name called Euronews. Then they tried to private a lot of my videos. They got maybe halfway through my catalog before they just gave up and stopped. And while this was also happening, I guess someone reported the live stream that was happening on the channel, and my channel got fucking terminated for spam. And so it was a whole endeavor trying to, one, gain access to my Google account back, and then once I got that back, reinstating my fucking YouTube channel that was wrongfully terminated. And that fucked me for a while. For a good, week and a half or two. So this is mostly where I've been and why I haven't updated or done much on this channel for this past month. I did actually want to get a nice running start with everything, but yeah, got properly cunted pretty fucking quickly. And if that wasn't the worst part of it, after I quickly changed my fucking password on most other things that had that similar thing, I have 5 or 6 passwords at this point now, and enabled all the other security steps, they tried to get in my fucking account again, which then resulted in my account getting security locked because of suspicious activity. And then I had to then prove that I owned the fucking account. And so I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. I just got the account back. Here's my recovery email. Here's my recovery phone number. And submit. And then I got denied. It's like, what do you mean I got fucking denied? I gave you all the fucking information you want. They didn't tell me why I got denied. Only that I can submit, but apparently all of the other previous attempts will be recorded. So I tried a second time. I get denied again. And meanwhile, these fucking reviews take, and they say 3 to 5 business days. And this is happened on the weekend. So I'm like, oh cool, I'm fucked again. So I was locked out of my channel again for another week and a half. I still had access to my account on everything else. I was still logged in on my studio, on my phone, and everywhere else. It's just on the desktop version, I couldn't log in because it thought it was a suspicious device. And so it meant that I couldn't fucking upload videos because although you can upload videos from the mobile app, you can't submit videos for review if they're demonetized, which is fucking dog shit. I don't know why they still have that system there. It's garbage. So I was just fucked, and I can't take the L with videos at the moment, especially January being the fucking worst month for ad revenue. So I was just fucked again for a good while. But now, I'm very much in the swing of things now, because I have an actual editor again. I think this is probably the third editor I've had at this point. But I think this will be a lot more consistent. Now, my goal for the channel this year is to get 2 green text videos a week, a podcast every 1 to 2 weeks, depending on whether I have guests or whatnot, or have shit to talk about. Might be a week. It'd probably be every second week, whether it be solo or guest, like I just said. But yeah, it was also a really awkward thing because I met this girl with a new friend group that I made probably like a month or 2 ago at this point. And she just randomly put it out there that she likes editing audio and she doesn't have many jobs at the moment. And I'm like, oh, I have some audio you can edit for me. And I'd had some recordings for some green text stuff that I hadn't edited yet. Which, the only aspect of editing green text videos that I just find repulsive at the moment is just editing out my fuck-ups when I record. Like mistakes or mispronouncing a word or mispronouncing a line or missing a word and going back and deleting that. It's just draining for me when you've done it 600 fucking times at this point. So I always fucking procrastinate it. I don't mind doing the Photoshop stuff for it, you know, cleaning up green text, making them look good for video, and then doing thumbnails and everything else. It's just that aspect, and even doing the music mix and sound effects from time to time. So yeah, I pay her once a week to edit some audio for me. I get like 2 to 3 videos, so I should have a good consistent schedule now for it. But I quickly realized as well, like, I had to explain to her, oh, by the way, I just say the N-word in some of these recordings, and I say fag and faggot. And it's not because it's like, and I've had a lot of people say this to me as well, of like, why don't you just replace it with another word then? When reading this sort of stuff, I find that it flows a lot better if you just say the word, because it doesn't sound well if you just like, I mean, I don't really want to say it. No, I don't want audio out there uncensored of me saying it at the moment. Updated anyway. So if you do just like say like, oh, this black nig, and then you and then you just end it like that, it sounds wrong. It sounds wrong, and the flow's off. So I just need to actually fully say it, and then go back and censor it. And then I had to explain that, oh yeah, by the way, use this sound effect that's the Jeff from my name Jeff meme, and go back and edit out the N-word. And like, she was like full on gonna do like proper like audio cleanup and everything, and I'm like, oh no, this doesn't deserve it, dude. Literally just go through and listen to it once and do not listen back to it after you've edited. I don't give a fuck. It's not worth the time. Because yeah, they also work in the film industry. A lot of this friend group that I've been meeting up with, a lot. I've never met up with a friend group so much in my fucking life. Or met the same people outside of school so many times. I'm literally seeing these cunts every other second day, which I'm not complaining. It's just I'm not fucking used to this social dynamic of people. And yeah, at first she told me her rate of what a day's work was, like $150, and I'm like, okay, well for starters, it won't take a fucking day. I'll pay you like this amount. She's like, alright, cool, I'll just take it for that. I don't mind doing all that. And once you have all the assets and everything done up, it's just pretty easy. And I'm like, alright, cool, set, done. So yeah, I have that consistency done. So that's that. So should be at least 2 green text videos a week, podcast every other second week. Commentary videos, they will come and sporadically. I want to get the fucking baby punting video done hopefully next month. I have everything, I just need to do a bit more research and a bit more tests doing the ballistics gel, and print a couple more resin bones for the baby. I have a lab coat, I have everything else, I have no excuse. I just need to film that dumb fucking video. As well as this year, I'm gonna try and get 100k this year. I don't know if that's possible at the moment with my fucking channel. I'll be completely honest, but I'll fucking give it a go. Because for whatever reason, like, my channel is in like a really weird state of like not gaining subscribers. If I like open my Social Blade, for example, alright, I'm looking at it now. Where did my audio go? Right there. I don't think I've gained subs particularly. I don't think I've gained subs for a year, bruh. Okay, yeah, I haven't been getting. Literally last year I gained no subscribers. Fucking hell, that's sad. Good lord. Okay, yeah, so this year, I mean, the benchmark is literally 0. So if I gain subs, that's a good fucking start, I guess. So yeah, I want to try and aim for 100k, but look, if I gain at least 1,000 or at least something, that's better than last year. Fuck, I didn't realize it was that bad. Jesus. So yeah, that's where I am with the channel and everything now. Oh, guests this year, don't know how that is going to work. I have some ideas of like bigger named guests. Obviously, I want to try and get Lewis Spears back on. I want to get Luke Kidgel back on. Don't know what their schedules is going to be like. With touring, I reckon it might be okay if, especially doing tours nationally in Australia, because I mean, again, we've got COVID pretty fucking under control here. My bigger name guests that I really want to get on the podcast this year, if they are in the area, I'm going to try my darndest, is I want to get Friendly Geordies on the podcast. He's the person that's half gotten me into politics and actually enjoying politics to a degree and helped my understanding of politics and, you know, given it the Zoom away of people being able to actually get into it and not just being just like, all of it's shit. So I'd really like to get him on the podcast, and also it's just like his self-help stuff as well. He's just a fucking like wealth of like knowledge and stuff, and I'd like to interview him and just talk to the man as well. A couple musicians that I want to get on this year. I want to get Saint Lane. I went to his Brisbane show last year because I won tickets to that, which that was a whole fucking hilarious situation too. I completely forgot about it till literally the last minute the day before, where he DM'd me just been like, hey man, it's coming to the show tomorrow, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's tomorrow. And he said I could bring a name, and his agent would put my name on the door, and I'm like, oh my god, this is weirdly official. Preface, I've also never been to a music concert before, or any sort of festival. Not my thing. Don't really listen to so much music, I'll be honest. I listen to podcasts probably more than I do music, I think. And so I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. And then all of my friends were literally like busy, or they just couldn't make it that night. It was too short a notice. And so I literally took a girl that I met on Tinder like a couple weeks ago, and I've been on one date with her, and I hadn't talked to her since that. And I just hit her up and just took her to that fucking thing. And when I showed up, they're like, oh, the artist has already started. I don't know if you can actually make it a sign. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'll just put my name on the door. And he just fucking let me in, didn't even fucking double check. And when I got to the actual like ticketing booth as well, I just said, oh yeah, Lane put my name on the door. It just went, oh, okay, cool. And they just stamped my fucking wrist as well as my +1. And we just went inside. It was a pretty good concert. Man's pretty talented. So yeah, he's definitely someone I want to get on the podcast this year as well, and I highly think that he's probably down to it as well, considering some of the other podcasts he's been on, and it sounds like he's got some fucking interesting stories as well to tell. So yeah, I'm really fucking keen for that as well. Alright, now let's get into some of the weird fucking things that I've been getting up to this past month, because I've been doing a lot more urban exploring, that's for sure, and I thought I'd already told this story, but no, I guess I hadn't. So there's a couple extra places that I've been to, and I guess I'm just a fucking urban explorer at this point. Kind of sporadically. So we went to a place. Do I want to say? Yeah. Okay. I don't give a fuck at this point. I won't put it in the title, but for the podcast listeners, in the Brisbane area, I think I'll give a fuck about this point anyway. Yeah, who cares? Okay, I'll just tell you the other places I've gone. I won't try and keep it secret. it's on a podcast here, man. No one's gonna fucking expose me, and plus I'm anonymous online anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, I went to a place in Kangaroo Point called the Lamb House, which, bit of background to it, I can't remember now that I've said that, I'm on the spot. It is not actually a slaughterhouse or a butcher, like a lot of people think when they first hear the name. It was owned by, like a man called Joseph Lamb, or Josephine Lamb, something along those lines. And basically, it's this house from, like, I want to say the 60s? That's, like, heritage listed in, like, this really rich area. And it's been abandoned for, I think, like, 20 or 30 years at this point now. So it's deteriorating quite a bit, but it's this, like, really old mansion. It's got 3 stories to it, tucked away from everything. And so I got hit up by my good friend, skater friend, who I've also had on the podcast. I can go back and listen to that episode. Where do I go from here? Oh yeah, okay. So also very sporadically, we decided to go to it the same day. He like called me on Facebook. He's like, "Want to go to this place?" I'm like, "No, let's go somewhere different." And so sporadically, an hour later, we're at the fucking place. It's literally on a main road, and it's like 3 p.m. 3:30 p.m. on like a fucking weekday at this point. And there's cars going past. I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna have to like jump the fence to like go inside. What the fuck? And so we just had to like wait for the traffic to die down a bit and just quickly jump the fucking fence to go inside and make it not look as suspicious as what we're doing. Taking a quick drink break. If you also actually want to see footage and stuff, because I did actually film this, I have it on my TikTok account. Follow me, Mr. Greentext, with no S on this. I've been posting a lot of cool shit on there lately that's separate to a lot of everything, because it doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the YouTube channel. And so a lot of my urban exploring is on my TikTok account now, so go follow that if you really feel so inclined, or bully me for having TikTok. I don't really give a fuck either way, to be honest. So yeah, we jumped up, we came up the main driveway, and also literally either side of this fucking place are like multi-million-dollar fucking mansions as well. And there's like, surely there's a security camera there. We were also wearing masks, not because, well, I mean, we're kind of committing a crime trespassing, but also because, especially these lot of abandoned places, there could be asbestos and other harmful chemicals and materials inside. And it's good just to be somewhat safe. So we masked up, looking at the front, cool like vines hanging over the thing. It's almost like a watchtower sort of situation by the front door. And also, we're wandering around the veranda. It has like a beautiful view of the Brisbane River and just like the Brisbane skyline. Taking a bunch of pictures and such. There's like beer cartons like scattered around the veranda. There's people obviously coming there to fucking drink at night and just have a couple babies with the boys at the fucking good old abandoned lamb house. And we're wandering around trying to find a spot and how to get inside. All of the doors are padlocked. I do the totally legal thing of busting out my lock picks and try and pick the lock to no avail, because I realized the only lock I've ever picked is a practice clear one, and I'm definitely no lock-picking lawyer. Because my fucking brain went after like watching a bunch of lock-picking lawyers' content was like, oh, it's a master lock. That means it's shit. It should be easy to pick. No, if it's easy to pick once you've had a bunch of practice in comparison to a lot of other locks, which I've only picked the singular lock, so that didn't fucking work. Wandering around a little bit, there's some stairs around the back that you could probably crawl through almost and like shimmy around, which we're like, I don't know if that's a really good spot. One of the doors that we came to, though, actually had a window at the very bottom of it that was smashed in. And so if you got down on your hands and knees, you could crawl through it and, like, shimmy yourself almost through it. And once you're on the inside, there's, like, an old, like, piano, a giant, like, fireplace, garbage fucking absolutely everywhere. There's literal just, like, bins inside that looks like they've attempted to try and clean up. Wandering around for a little bit, taking some more pictures and videos and just trying to scope out the place. Horrid smell on the inside too. And so then we come to the main like stairway that leads up to a bunch of the other rooms and everywhere else in the house. And as soon as we get into this, like, place, corridor room-ish, there's a bunch of, like, papers, and there's just, like, probably a foot of just garbage on the floor. Like, it almost looks like they've tried to clean one room, and they've just stopped. There's, like, a perfect line to it, and you can see just the levels of garbage there. And meanwhile, I'm just like, well, we're going to go up the stairs, yeah? And they're like, I don't know about that. It doesn't seem very sturdy. And, me being my fucking, ape brain self and, just looking at them like, they look pretty solid, immediately start going up it. And they film me, and then eventually start following me up. I get to the second story of the lamb house, and then again, yeah, I can see with the side banisters of the, like, almost fencing looking over the rest of the stairwell, you could see, yeah, probably about a foot and a half of just garbage and papers and shit there as well. And so I poke my head into one room, and I start scanning from the left to the right, and I'm like, whoa, cool, there's a lot of stuff in here. I can see in my peripheral vision. I'm scanning around. I make it about halfway through the room. I see a BMX bike leaning against a couch, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I'm scanning more, and then I see a couch, and then I see, like, a TV that's kind of broken looking in front of it. I'm scanning more. I make it to the end of the couch. Right behind the couch, there is a camping stovetop and a crate underneath with a bunch of pots and pans and a basketball. And then I scan back around, and then I see the back of a head of someone sitting on the couch. My first thought is like, oh, that's weird, I see some hair. And then I'm like, oh wait, that's not hair, that's a head. There's someone sitting on the couch. And then my brain suddenly clicks that, holy shit, there's someone on the couch. Holy shit, there's someone squatting in this fucking house. And so I quickly turn back around to my friend, and I'm like, dude, there's someone here, there's someone here, there's someone here, go, 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 go. And, like, he's obviously hears something else, but he sees how frantic I'm just like, fucking go back, go back, go back. And we quickly, like, half run, half stealthily, like, prance down the stairs to fucking leave. And when we come in this fucking place as well, we're, like, being so careful not to, like, make too much noise and bash through the door. This time, we're practically fucking, like, dolphin diving, leaping through the fucking, like, door entrance this time. My friend's thick ass fucking hits itself on the door on the way out, rattling the whole thing. I don't know. I didn't see this guy move once. I don't know whether he was fucking ODing or overdosing or asleep or fucking what the hell was going on. We weren't taking any fucking risks. Immediately, we jumped out the fucking place, went down the main fucking road and immediately jumped back over the fence. And then started just walking somewhere as the adrenaline fucking started to wear off a bit. How stupid that fucking was, and how much planning we probably should have done, and seen the signs of someone fucking squatting in this fucking house that we saw. We ended up just walking to McDonald's and then just winding down for a while and looking back through the footage, and then, yeah, seeing the fucking bike, and then almost seeing the guy as well. Fuck, I wish I got the back of his head. Oh, if only I was recording in a more wide-angle lens, but oh well. That video's up there if you want to go see that. Anyway, yeah. And so then the second urban exploring experience that I did last week was I went into the famous Brisbane tunnels. That go underneath Kangaroo Point and Woolloongabba. And so that was the whole fucking thing. And this one, we actually made sure we properly fucking prepared this time. Because this was actual, how do I put this? It could be more dangerous and actually needs planning, because this one, the entrance only really is available to... I don't think available is the right word. It only really, like... not really opens up either. It's basically like a entrance off the Brisbane River, so it flows into it. I mean, it's a stormwater drain, for fuck's sake. And so it's affected by the tides depending on the water level, and, it needs to be on a low enough water level to be able to actually go inside the fucking entrance. And so we had to make sure that we followed the tide charts and enter at a time where the tide was either the going down or at the lowest, and make sure that we don't dilly-dally and fuck around in there too, because we have like a max of like 2 hours before water starts to rise again. And so yeah, we did a heap of fucking research. We watched as many videos as we could that were available online to us. Couldn't find any maps anywhere online, obviously. Seeing which ways to fucking go. Avoided the hell entrance, apparently, as well. Because that way, basically towards the end, there's a junction where you can go right or straight forward. Actually, straight forward or right. And I think the hell way is straight forward. And that way, it gets gradually smaller and smaller to the point where you have to like crawl on your hands and knees to like get through, which fuck that right off, my dudes. And then the exit is actually like a fucking manhole on like a street, which no thanks, I don't want to get arrested. And so yeah, we did heap of planning. We fucking literally a couple nights before, we went to Bunnings and bought a bunch of stuff like gumboots, ponchos, some proper nice gloves that we can wear inside too that have like silicone so we can grip rock faces and stuff like that and not worry about slipping. Some proper socks. What else did we have? I had a nice clip so I could clip my gloves on. Some nice masks as well. Potential eye protection, which we didn't end up really taking either way. I was umming and ahhing. This is a joke. If any legal personnel are watching, I bought myself a baton for self-defense, just in case. Did not bring it with me in there though, because close encounters mightn't be. I mean, look, if there's anywhere that I'm not going to encounter people, it's within a storm drain that the tide actually affects, whether how much water's in there and if you can fucking leave in time. So I'd left that at home, and plus I needed to figure out a bunch of other things for it anyway. And so yeah, we made our way down at the designated time, and we sat there for a while, and we kept looking at it. And we got there I think like 2 hours before peak low tide, and we're umming and ahhing about going in now or what time we should actually go in. And eventually, I mean, also the entrance, there was the bunch of rock climbers directly behind us too, and we're like, do we go in? Does it matter if people see us? We don't know. We were fucking stormwater virgins. And also, I'm definitely gonna go in there at some point as well, but probably not for a little while. But yeah, we were really nervous about people seeing us because we had like our fucking backpacks and gumboots and everything else, and you know, it's very fucking obvious. If you know what we're doing, then it's pretty obvious. So sitting there for a while, and so we try and figure out. It's really hard to see how deep it actually is. Looking at it, it looks maybe like a meter from the entrance, but it apparently peters off inside as well and gets a lot shallower inside as well once you actually make it inside the entrance. And so we find a big stick, and I decide to just go down the rock face a little bit and just put a stick in the water and see what the water level is like. As soon I'm going down the rock face a little bit, and I could see where the water has splashed over onto the rock a little bit, and it's a little bit mossy, a little bit green. And in my head I'm like, wow, this is slippery as fuck. I need to be careful as hell. I don't even finish putting my fucking foot. I don't even finish putting my full weight on my foot. As soon as I stand on it, I fucking slip and just like smash my knee. Which literally the week before, I had gone ice skating and eaten it pretty fucking hard. Never going ice skating again, by the way, bit of a tangent. Fuck it. It's just like shit rollerblading, except cold. Fuck ice skating, man. And also, you got much harder surface to just die when you fall, so fuck ice skating. Immediately smash my knee. Kinda hurts to walk a bit. I'm like, oh cool, this is a good start, and especially what I want when I'm essentially doing a hike through a cave and then a giant fucking drain. A kind of bum knee. And also, we had to walk up a giant fucking hill to go get our gear because we were scoping out before, so thankfully the two people I went with went and grabbed all my gear for me while I attempted to try and heal myself a little bit. Thankfully, well, when we put the stick in, it was maybe like 40 centimeters, maybe 50 centimeters, half a meter deep, which our gumboots would be probably pretty fine. And so we decided to fucking pull the trigger. We decided to kit up a little bit, and then we saw two other guys looking at the entrance to the place, and they had cameras, and they both had a pair of gumboots. And then as soon as like we eventually made eye contact, we're just like, oh, are you go in there? It's like, okay, yeah, it's pretty obvious what we're doing. They were going in there, but only going up halfway and then coming back out the same entrance as they went in to do some light painting, which is where you do a long exposure with some sort of light source. And it's basically those photos you see in like caves or in the dark, where it looks like there's a giant like light circle where someone's like spinning something around or something like that. A lot of people do them with like sparklers or fire dancing and shit like that. But yeah, it'd be cool as fuck in the caves. So yeah, we eventually decide that, hey, I mean, they seem like reasonable enough guys, they're fine. Probably don't want to all go together though. So we decide, okay, let's go first. And again, me being me and fucking monkey brain and not learning, I decide to go in first. And yeah, it's still kind of deep. Still using my entire weight to hold myself on my side as I lower myself into the water. And then yeah, we all quickly follow in behind me, get into the caves. Once we fully get in, then we fully kit up, getting out our torches, putting our gloves on. We left our ponchos in there because we just decided it was way too fucking hot in there. And holy shit, I don't know what I was expecting in there, but it looked like something out of a horror movie, and it was so fucking cool. Because yeah, for the first about, I don't know, 300-400 meters, it's literally like just a cave tunnel. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I might put a photo here if I remember. I mean, just fucking look at this, man. It's kind of terrifying. But I took some other cool pictures so you can actually see, like, the Brisbane skyline from the entrance of this too. Which we'll probably get some more pictures if we go back there again of that specific thing. But yeah, also very daunting because it's, yeah, very much pitch black. And also because it's like this cave system-ish, there is also a lot of bats on the inside. Which I'll get to in a second. So we're going along one by one, both filming each other, filming everybody, getting a nice vlog out of it. Which also, plug again to my TikTok. This video is on my TikTok as well. Go check that out. Might even do a compilation of it on my channel at some point. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, and so, yeah, about 50 meters from the entrance, it starts to get a lot shallower, thank God. There's only maybe like puddles every now and then of maybe like ankle deep water. And yeah, it was fucking an experience, man. There was like little patches of like colonies of bats, and you could see it like dripping down, whether it be like drool or I don't know whether it was droppings or something shit. So yeah, I quickly turned around to my friends and just like, hey, when you pass over these caverns where it looks like it has a opening up there, don't look straight up because you might get piss and shit in your eyeballs because we don't have eye protection. Oops. So yeah, we make our way through there and then we come to the first, it wasn't a junction, I think we came to like a pipe system then. So then it turned into just like an entire like circular like tunnel brick. There's not really much else to really say because we were just so like fucking focused of like just keep moving, get your way through the tunnel. Oh, that was the thing that happened. Literally, as I'm putting my fucking gloves on, immediately drop one in the fucking water. So that's fucking great. I just have to carry around a fucking yucky wet glove the entire time. But thankfully, it was the hand I was holding my phone in a lot of the time, which I couldn't actually operate my phone through my gloves anyway. So it kind of worked out, but the more like fucky positions where I was just like, you probably want to grip sides, I had to put my phone in my pocket and like put the shitty water glove back on my hand. So I probably have COVID, don't know. I'll probably be fine though. There's no traces in it. It's a stormwater drain, for God's sake. It's not a actual sewer system. We come to the first junction, and we can't see the hell sign. And we quickly realize, we're not sure which way to go. Which is like, again, all the videos we've seen, we've only seen the one junction. We can't see the sign of which way to not go. And so we think back to it. I did download one of the videos, thankfully, and the straight ahead way was just, just keep going that way. And then the right turn had like a step up to it. And all the videos we saw, we didn't remember seeing any sort of step up at all. So like, okay, we're pretty confident, let's just keep going forward. Yeah, and there's a lot of cockroaches. Bats were kind of probably the most terrifying of the whole thing. They were microbats though, so they weren't like bitey like rabies. I mean, I don't think we have rabies in Australia. Anyway, I think. Hey Google, is rabies in Australia?
On the website agriculture.gov.au, they say Australia is one of the few countries in the world that remains free of rabies.
Yeah, so yeah, we don't.
Look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant.
Yeah, cheers Google. Shut up. Yeah, so we don't have rabies in here, so there's nothing to really worry about. Even if bats do bite, yeah, I mean, you still probably want to go to a fucking hospital or a vet. I'm not really sure in that situation actually. But again, yeah. So the bats were probably the most terrifying thing. We had no bats run into us. Obviously just crouch down a bit when you hear like a colony flying out or flying through or flying past you. You might get brushed. I did get brushed quite a few times, which was a whole fucking experience on itself. Getting like brushed by a bat as it went past. But yeah, again, as long as you're safe and just made sure to crouch down. Try not to make too much noise to disturb all of them. And yeah, made our way through. Seeing a couple junctions every now and then. Hearing eerie fucking noises every now and then. That we eventually discovered were actually cars running over manhole covers that are close by. So yeah, worst comes to worst, there were quite a few like spots along the way where you could probably just go up a manhole and escape that way if shit was actually getting serious. So it was simultaneously probably the most dangerous slash, you know, as long as you do your research, probably the safer things you probably could have done. Still don't really know which one's more dangerous, the going in beating a squatter or getting flooded in. Don't know. I don't really want to decide particularly or think about it too fucking hard. So eventually we do come to the junction which is designated as the Hell Junction. Meanwhile as well, we're sweating like fucking, I don't know, some big primate monkeys is the best way to fucking say it, I guess. Absolutely drenched. Masks smell like shit. They were all just completely covered in, you know, just dew from the cave system and water from your mouth from sweating and sweating from your face hole and everything else. So we take a bit of a break there for a while, take some more cool pictures, shit our pants as bats fly out one junction and into the other as one almost hits my friend in the stomach. I have that on video too on my TikTok, you can go check that out. Yeah, we do see the one that says hell. I'm like, okay, don't go down the hell, go down this way. And we start going down the opposite way to the hell, and it does actually get a little bit smaller. Previously, the other tunnels were probably, I'd say, 2.5 meters, like 7 foot. I think that's probably about right. And as soon as I step in, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Perfect height for me. Meanwhile, my two friends who are like 6 foot or like just over 6 foot, they're like half crouching down. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. If I just creak my neck forward a little bit, I'm fine. Fuck yeah. 5'8 race. 5'8 master race. Fucking 6. Yeah, I kept making jokes, but like, haha. Fucking 6 foot king really doesn't mean shit in this cave, does it? And they're like half complaining, just like, oh man, this is really taking a toll on me having to crouch down. And I'm like, I'm fine, man. I just gotta look at my feet a little bit more. And so yeah, we're getting a little bit further to the end, and we can hear like almost whistling, which was also kind of fucking terrifying. And because this pipe and drain system is a little bit smaller, the bats have barely any space to like get past you. So a lot of the times it'll like turn around. And they'll be like, oh shit, there's something there, and fly back the other direction. But there were sometimes where they'd fly like past you, and that's when you get like the flutter of the wings against your fucking body as they just barely able to get past you. And that was probably one of the most like weird experiences I've had in my life, to be honest. We keep going, probably for about another like 200-300 meters. Have to stop a couple times because it's again getting so fucking hot and tired. Even I was, particularly at that point. Till eventually we find the exit. Oh, that was also a separate thing as well. We didn't know where the exit was. We had seen videos of this exit. All we knew that it was at some random suburb in the end of like a cul-de-sac of somewhere. So we didn't know. We were taking a bit of a gamble wherever the fuck we ended up. So we could hear like wind, and we could hear like more of an echo. which I didn't know until like my friend half mentioned, like, oh, if you can hear an echo in a cave system like that, that means that you're close to the exit. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fucking cool. I just dropped my phone. Hold on 1 second. Alright, yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, cool, we're getting close. And then we can see a little bit of light, and we start picking up pace, and we get finally to the exit. And it's like this catchment sort of thing. There's a bunch of concrete barriers, and you basically just have to pick one, going on your hands and knees, or sliding through another one. We end up going on our hands and knees to slide out. And thankfully, they'd also described it as a barbed wire fence surrounding it as well. But literally, I mean, everyone uses it, and there's literally on either side of the fence, it looks like someone had taken a, the giant fucking clipper thing that people used to cut fences with, bolt cutter, to like cut the way through a fence so they could leave. And as we're about to climb out, we just see, because it's also like maybe 8, 9 p.m. at this point, and we look up, and it's a pretty dark cul-de-sac. And we can just see, like, the fucking outline of someone looking down at us, smoking, like, a cigarette. And he's just staring. And we all have our fucking, like, headlamps on. So you would have just seen, like, 3 people come out of a drain. And just, like, smoking his cigarette. And my friend just goes, hey! And doesn't respond. And we're all just, like, standing there for, like, 20 seconds. Just, like, looking at him. While he's still looking at us. And then my friend again just goes, hey, how you going? And then he just walks away. And we're just like, what the fuck is happening? Holy shit. And so eventually one of us starts to go up the ladder and maneuver his way through the fence a little bit and out the garden into the cul-de-sac. Man is nowhere to be fucking seen, which is kind of creepy. We're just like, whatever, just get the fuck out of here. We end up down in like a Wollongabba fucking suburb in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, oh cool, I guess we just have to track all the way back to the car now. And yeah, that was probably one of the fucking coolest experiences I've ever done, not gonna lie. I'll happily do it again now. Again, I feel a lot more confident. I don't feel as scared as people seeing me go in there, or even seeing me with the thought of like, oh, that's what he's going, he's got gumboots, I know where he's going. I don't really give a fuck. Because again, even though it's kind of illegal, like, they're not really gonna send cops down after you if you've already gone in. So as long as you go down there and you don't fuck around there for too long and just get inside, they're not really gonna fucking go in after you or really wait at like one of the exits, because you could come out anywhere. So it's one of those weird things where it's illegal but not really at the same time. It's like jaywalking. It's like illegal but like really who gives a fuck. You could book them, but you know, only if you're a bastard or a cunt. The other thing I wanted to briefly talk about a little bit, I also had my first D&D experience, which I think I'll talk about next podcast, because I'll probably ramble about it for fucking yonks, and I don't want this podcast to be so fucking long. But this past month, for those who don't know, I'm actually sober. I don't drink alcohol, never have, probably won't be a real drinker. I'm not a social drinker. I've had maybe 2 full drinks in my entire life. It's just not for me, don't like the taste, don't really want the feeling of being drunk and, you know, whatever the fuck. But I've always had the openness of some selective drugs, like weed. I think particularly the only ones I'm down to particularly try are weed and mushrooms. I am unsure if I am in the mental space for mushrooms. I don't know when I will be. That's something I'm probably going to have to research for myself at some point. But weed, I've always been a little bit more open to, especially socially. I don't think I'll ever buy it for personal recreation use. Mostly just like socially, if people are around and like they have it, I'll be like, alright, I guess I'll try it, and whatnot. As well as like, I didn't want to just be completely boned and not have a plan of action of like what I'm gonna do once I had weed. But yeah, the first time people were around my house and they busted it out, I'm like, well, I'm in my own fucking house, we'll smoke it in the backyard. Worst comes to worst, I'm gonna just go upstairs and go to bed. And so my first experience, I couldn't tell if I was high or what I was particularly feeling, because it was also like 3 a.m. at this point as well. So I couldn't tell if I was high or tired, but I was also told that this weed was kind of shit, so there's that. The second time was just like a couple puffs. Didn't really notice any feeling either. The third time, I was around a friend's house with my housemate as well, and I smoked weed out of a little pipe, and I don't know if it took me a little bit. Well, at first, while those two were blazed in the tub, I'm like, will I know when I'm high? Because I took like a couple like puffs and inhalations and stuff. Like, oh yeah, you'll know when you're high, and I'm like, okay. And the first thing that I noticed for myself was there was a bit of a pressure on my ears. My head was starting to get a little bit warm. And then the other thing that I noticed was my like body started to get a little bit heavy, which then I kind of put two and two together. I'm like, oh, okay, right, yeah, that's why people like veg out on the couch or stuff like that, or they don't move much, because they have this feeling here. It's almost like, for those who haven't, it's almost like the feeling of like that one ride at like the fair or fucking amusement park, where you walk into like this giant circle shaped room, and then it spins you around and like pushes you against a wall with a centrifugal force. It almost feels like that, where I just have like a higher gravity on my body, and it's like harder to lift my limbs in my body. And then kind of just like half went to bed not long after that. Didn't really particularly notice any consciential changes. I don't know if that's the right word. I didn't notice any changes in like my mind particularly, or emotionally, or anything like that particularly, to be honest. Yeah, I mean I did smoke a good bit of it, I think. Yeah, I don't know if it really is particularly for me. I think this was the better stuff, so I was told. But yeah, I don't know what else to really say. I don't know if weed is for me, my dudes. Yeah. But yeah, my whole ideals and morals for myself is I don't really want to try the artificial drugs particularly. I just don't really want to experience it and just be fucked like that. Also, after that, no, I won't go into that, never mind. Yeah, I just don't like the feeling of not being in control, and also just being screwed in a position like that too, if you're high or something like that. Whereas if I'm going to get high, or something like that, like definitely shrooms, I'm gonna want a fucking trip sitter. And if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. I'm not gonna be like fucking at some random party like, oh, I'll bust out the shrooms and have a trip, mate. I'm like, no, let's go to my room and walk me through this, or something like that. I don't really know. Again, I'm fucking rambling, but again, that's this whole podcast. The other thing I wanted to briefly talk about is that I had someone bleach my hair, and I'm now fucking blonde, because I wanted to dye my hair a light brown, which it's like a black pretty much at the moment, and after 2 box failed attempts, I had my friend fucking yell at me for using box dye, and they said that, like, let me do it before you fry off your hair, and I'm like, alright, fair enough. And I half regret it, I think, not because of the outcome, but the experience was fucking horrible. First we had to do it, like, it was probably about a 5-hour process, and we still didn't actually get to the light brown. I'm blonde now, as I just fucking said. But I had to do a color remover, and then 2 rounds of bleach, and then we did a round of dye, and the dye, by that point, because my hair had been bleached twice to get it to that, it fucking burned my scalp so hard, and it was some of the worst consistent pain I'd ever had, because I just had to keep it in to try and, like, actually dye my hair. And I still have an extra bottle of the stuff to maybe do it again eventually, but I'm like, I'm fucking quitting doing this right now and coming back maybe later, because I am in so much pain. I'm ready to push you and fucking get this out of my hair. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say other than, like, it sucked, and now I'm blonde and my hair's a bit fucky and wiry and shit. And I've missed out on a lot of pool party sessions because I can't go in chlorinated water, because I will turn into the Joker, because my hair will go fucking green. So yeah, that was that. Okay, I think it's time to get into the most autistic part of this podcast, and that is, of course, where I answer a bunch of questions, queries, and topics by you cunts. So, of course, if you don't already know, you can either send me questions via my email, mrgreentext@gmail.com, or you can jump on my Discord, head down to the Greencast channel, and submit questions and topics there. Frog asks, what crime did your ancestors commit to be sent to Australia? As far as I know, my family heritage is, I think, English, and my 3 or 4 great removed grandfather moved from England to Australia. So as far as I know, my ancestral history isn't actually a convict. They willingly moved here. And I think my dad's part New Zealander too, so joke's on you, I'm not a fucking convict, even though I kind of admitted to maybe some crimes, but that's beside the point. Striker asks, opinions on Tomboy GF? You do you, man, particularly. I don't know particularly if I outright just want a tomboy girlfriend. I think obviously a lot of aspects of it, but also a tomboy GF, I guess, in your sort of sense in asking the question, is just a girl who isn't outright overly a girly girl, which I don't mind particularly. I think a healthy balance is good. Like my last girlfriend I had, she was probably a good healthy mix of the two, I'd say. You know, it can have good and bad aspects to it, I think. Like, you know, having like the girl as like one of the boys and such. But yeah, I don't really know. I haven't really thought that much particularly about it. I guess like as well with that sort of stuff, I don't know what I prefer. Oh, I suppose I do. It's just I know it when I see it, particularly, to be honest, of what I look for in a relationship or a partner or whatever. But yeah, tomboy GF could be cool. Soft GF could be nice as well. GF in general would just be nice, particularly, to be honest, because I'm kinda fucking lonely. Like, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of friends that I hang out with, and I have good, like, close friends and such. I even have good, close female friends, or friends of the opposite gender and such. But, man, I just miss, like, having just, you know, someone, this is getting soppy and a weird way to end the podcast, but yeah, I guess just someone to just call your own and just, you know, outright just be like, oh yeah, they are my person. I am theirs, they are mine. Yeah. Because I think the best relationships, from my point of view, are ones where your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the fuck in between, it's like they are your girlfriend, but they're also like your best friend. And I guess that's something I really miss, particularly, and it sounds real fucking sad, and I don't know what else to really say about it. And that's a weird way to fucking end the podcast, but I'm gonna fucking end it there, bruh, whatever. Yeah, again, all your questions sucked dick, guys, bruh. I mean, again, of course I'm gonna get memed on, but yeah, there's not really much you could really do much with that. Like, I already answered Hacker Man, answered a lot of the other bits and pieces about like when the baby punting video would be ready. Yeah, that's the podcast. Email me mrgreentext.com@gmail.com. Funny stories or whatever the fuck, or Greencast channel. Follow my TikTok. That's it. See you later, cunts.